And voters are making their presence known.
Was it exciting?
As candidates across the Sound make their final push.
We are really going to change the city.
It all comes down to today.
From public safety.
Defund is not to blame.
And the future of policing.
I do not support defunding the police.
To the ongoing housing crisis.
It's really hard to imagine myself owning a home.
It's all on the table tonight. Fox 13 News starts right now.
Election day is here, and we are bringing you team coverage from all across the Sound. We'll be taking you from Snohomish to Tacoma with analysis right here in studio as well. So thanks for joining us as we track these races. I'm David Rose.
I'm Eliana Gomez. We begin with arguably the most watched race tonight, and that's the race for Seattle City Attorney. And bringing in Fox 13 reporter Hannah Kim. Now, Hannah, you've been tracking this race for us.
Oh, yes, I have. Eliana and David, yes, how can we forget about Seattle City Attorney's race? Some would say it stands out like a sore thumb considering all the drama surrounding it the last several months. And in case you've missed any of it, here's a recap. You have Nicole Thomas Kennedy, a police abolitionist against Republican Ann Davison. Now, much of the drama surrounds Thomas Kennedy because of all of her past tweets that have been criticized as hateful and divisive when she called police officers serial killers and joked that property destruction was a moral imperative. The last time I interviewed Thomas Kennedy in October, she still did not fully take back or condemn what she said. And when I asked how she was going to bridge that gap between her and SPD if she got the role, her answer was they would have to have a heart-to-heart. Still, Thomas Kennedy made it clear that when it comes to the job itself, she believes she is better qualified than Ann Davison.
My Republican opponent is not qualified to do this job.
Why is she not qualified?
Because I've been the attorney of record on over 600 cases. She has done a total of 6 cases in her entire career, all more than a decade ago.
The role of city attorney is not to be in court every day, which it sounds like she thinks it is. It isn't an advisory role. It is a leader, and it is to making sure we're setting the tone and direction of the law department. I frankly can't even repeat most of what she's said. I think it's so disgusting, glorifying violence.
Now, Ann Davison says she is about collaboration. She pushed the narrative that she would listen to everyone despite political party. She would be tougher on some crimes as well, especially if the person does not change their behavior after multiple offenses. She also wants to work with community organizations for alternative sentencing outside of just jail. Meanwhile, Thomas Kennedy's belief, however, is that prosecuting misdemeanors is prosecuting poverty. And that is why she does not want to prosecute most cases. That means she would heavily rely on other alternatives and in the long term wants to dismantle the criminal justice system. So here we are. We have 2 women with such sharp differences. This isn't a race, you guys, where, you know, when you're sitting down at the table, you have 2 similar candidates and you can't decide. Well, this will certainly be interesting to see how Seattle voters go on this because it will really spotlight the direction Seattleites want to go moving forward when it comes especially to crime and law enforcement. And I have people even outside of Seattle who are talking about this race. And I know at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, people are going to be tuning in because they want to know what happens here. Brandy.
Absolutely. We will have those results tonight. You're right, coming up on our news at 8. And Brandy, before we talk about the mayor's race, you've covered politics in Seattle for a long time. This Seattle City Attorney's race, it's pretty fascinating, but is it overhyped, do you think?
Yeah, Hannah's totally overhyped it. No, I don't think so. And if you, even if you put the salacious tweets aside, I say this completely without hyperbole. In my decade covering politics in the city of Seattle, this is the most consequential race that I have ever covered in my career. There's a couple reasons for that. One is you have 2 candidates that, no matter the outcome, are a huge departure from politics as normal in Seattle. Either a Republican, which is unheard of, or an abolitionist who wants to be the city's top prosecutor. And then this is a job that really deals with all the crises the city is facing. Public safety is a big one. You have candidates who feel just so starkly differently on the issue of public safety. You have the issue of homelessness, for instance. You have the issue of mental health. The intersection of all of those things are the biggest crises that we're facing in the city, and we know that what happens in the city of Seattle also impacts the region as well. So for all of those reasons, the race for Seattle City Attorney is absolutely the most consequential one for not only the city, but for the region as well. You know, and I also want to make a point here. There's been a lot made of Nicole Thomas Kennedy, and I in part because of her tweets, but in another Seattle race, in the race for Seattle City Council position 9, candidate Nikita Oliver is, for all intents and purposes, kind of the same political candidate. She has the same, or they have the same ideology, rather, as Nicole Thomas Kennedy. Nikita just didn't have all the wild tweets that I think brought attention to that race. And one of the things, even today, when we spoke to Nikita, that she's trying to get away from in this race between her and Sarah Nelson is this hyper focus on Nikita's views as a police abolitionist.
I think a lot of people want to make this a single issue race and talk just about policing, but we know that safety in our city is created by a lot more than just policing. It's created by health through housing. It's created by access to healthy food. It's created by doing things that build community and strengthen our connections to each other.
So you do have two candidates that are police abolitionists, which is, even in a city like Seattle, a pretty extreme view, but both of them are possibly in a position to win.
A lot on the line here. Let's switch over to the mayoral race in Seattle as well. Bruce Harrell has had a strong lead. Do you think that's going to hold tonight?
Well, it's hard to tell. And what I would caution people on tonight, as the results come in around 8 p.m., is that we have seen election after election that progressive candidates tend to make up ground in later ballot dumps. So even if the first results come in and you see Bruce Harrell way ahead, keep in mind, in 2019, Shama Sawant, the Socialist City Councilman, she came back from 9 points, a 9-point deficit on election night because she did so well in late ballot returns. We did catch up with both Bruce Harrell and Lorena Gonzalez as they were making their final pitches to voters today.
And every day I will fight hard to stand up for you, to do what is right for the thousands of working people in this city who currently live here, who are struggling every single day and are wondering if next month is the last month they'll be able to live in Seattle.
My pitch is, if you really want change, you want to see the graffiti cleaned up, you want to see the homeless camps, people housed actually, you want to see action, then I would be the candidate. If you want inaction and you want the status quo and you're happy with the things are in Seattle, then you shouldn't vote for me.
But Bruce Harrell touches on something there that really, I think, is a deficit to both of these candidates. They want to be the next mayor of Seattle. Both of them say they have the solutions to deal with homelessness and crime and all of this. But both of them have held positions of power in the city over the past decade, as those crises have only gotten worse and worse and worse. So no matter who wins, they still are going to have convincing to do to tell the people of Seattle that they can deal with issues that not only existed under their leadership, but worsened under their leadership. So I'm hoping for, I don't know about you, I'm hoping for a good voter turnout today. Yes. I know off your elections, voter turnout can be low. We want to take you to the polls now. We know if we go just, let's leave Seattle for a moment. We know nearly 100,000 ballots have been returned to county officials in the North Sound. That's where we see our Steve Kiggins.
Yeah, lots of local races up for grabs tonight in Snohomish County as well.
Yeah, Steve's in Montlake Terrace tonight to talk about the voter turnout. Steve, what are you seeing today?
Yeah, we're talking races all over the place. County council, city council positions in Everett, in Arlington, and Darrington, all in between. We're talking fire, water, school district races, and all across the map. These races are happening tonight. This is where your voice counts. You get to make those calls. Here we are, Montlake Terrace, the ballot box. Lots of people showing up, but once they drop it off, those ballots go right up to the county auditor's office up in Everett. The ballots, they're brought to this office. The tabulation, it's in full view of the public. Observers are also welcome. Employees are working in teams of 2, sorting those ballots. Security badges are required for sensitive areas. Now, the county auditor thinks turnout is on a trajectory for about 37% turnout this November. And the key to ensuring your ballot is legal and counted all comes down to your signature.
We're looking for similarities. Nobody signs their signature exactly the same. So we're able to make sure that with a high degree of confidence that it's the same voter just by looking for a large number of similarities between those two signatures. Having that paper ballot, it does allow us to audit the process and also ensures that recounts and other outside kind of processes can provide that level of confidence for voters.
So we've got dozens of these drop boxes across the county. New locations this year include Woodinville and Linwood. You've got until 8 o'clock tonight to fill out your ballot, get it into one of these drop boxes. As of late yesterday, we've got about 100,000 ballots returned from the 500,000 circulating Snohomish County right now. We're live in Montlake Terrace, Steve Kiggins, Fox 13 News.
And shifting our focus now to Tacoma, where a key race for mayor heats up tonight. One of the main issues is the rising crime rate in the city. Incumbent Mayor Victoria Woodard faces a challenge from Steve Haverly, a political newcomer with a background in construction management.
And from an affordable housing crisis to reforming a police department, the two take widely different stances. Fox 13 News reporter AJ Janaval joins us live from Tacoma tonight. AJ, a lot on the line tonight as well for Tacoma.
I think that's the big focus. We've been talking about this for months, if not at this point the entirety of the year. There is so much attention in this city of Tacoma on how they're going to handle crime. We've been talking about it throughout the last few months, specifically within the last few weeks, some big crimes that they've seen. If you remember a couple weeks ago, 4 homicides in one day. And the question falls onto how do you handle that? A focus on police, reform, investing into it. All of these questions will be what the next mayor of the city of Tacoma has to start addressing. Now, as you mentioned before, Mayor Victoria Woodard has been in office. She has worked for the last few months dealing with these certain situations, and the voters who are pulling up behind us will be making the decision between the person who has been in office and this newcomer, Steve Haverly. Mayor Woodard just recently announcing the plans that she has to change this city, investing into police in different areas. But the big question for the folks who are here tonight is that enough? And we'll find that out later throughout the evening, as results are expected around 8 o'clock. As we've been standing here, this line behind us here at the Pierce County Annex has just been continuous with people dropping off ballots throughout the day. It's not the best weather, but people are still coming out. I got a chance to speak to someone who lives in the city of Tacoma just about why it is so important for him to make sure his voice is heard.
I wanted to make sure that I was dropping off my ballot because, you know, I have some amazing people that are running right now, and I want to support that. It's time for Tacoma, to be honest, not to be little Seattle, to be Tacoma, because we are absolutely amazing. We are doing great things, and I think we're at a point right now where we just want to hold people accountable.
Again, fighting for that accountability, it's a big question for the folks who live in this city. Now, as a whole, looking at the county, there are 170 offices that are up for grabs, nearly 270 folks that are running, so a lot of big races throughout all of Pierce County. We're going to continue covering this election throughout the night. You can count on us to have updates as they're coming in. Reporting live here in Tacoma, I'm AJ Janavel for Fox 13 News.